Hey there, math students. I have got some more equations with rational numbers for you today. No notes today, we're just going to work off the assignment again. So first of all, quick overview. I'm going to have you skip numbers 7 through 10 and also 11 through 14. Whoops, those. You can cross those off. You're also going to skip number 19. And that should be written on your assignment page as well. If I've forgotten to write it there, please let me know. Today on this video, we will be doing together numbers 2, 3, and 6, and number 16. So feel free to pause, rewind, fast forward, whatever helps you learn the best. Okay, so starting off with number 2. It looks like we've got some fractions here, so we will be giving our answer in fractions as well. So whenever you have fractions given to you, you should give your answer also in fractions. It does say in the instructions to round to the nearest hundredth if necessary, but they're just talking about those decimal problems. So problems like over here, that's when you're going to be rounding to the nearest hundredth. Okay, back to number 2. So we have negative 3/4 m equals 9/32. So what operation is happening over here between the negative 3/4 and the m? They are right beside each other, so they are multiplying. So when you have a fraction multiplying by a variable, what is that shortcut way where we can get rid of that fraction? That is to multiply by the reciprocal. So if you remember, the reciprocal means just turn the fraction upside down. So instead of negative 3/4, we're going to have negative 4/3. We're going to multiply by that on the left and on the right, because what we do to one side we have to do to the other. So what happens here is the 4's cross out and the 3's cross out, and the negative times the negative equals a positive. So the only thing we're left with over here on the left is an m, which is awesome because that's exactly what we need, the m by itself. Over here on the right, we just have to do some multiplying. So if you remember this trick, you can kind of simplify before you multiply. So the 3 would become 1 and the 9 would become a 3. If you're familiar with that trick, go ahead and use it. If you're not, you might want to grab your calculator, and we can do it another way too. You can just do, 9 times 4, I know that without my calculator, is negative 36. I'm going ahead and saying the negative belongs to the top number. So negative 36 on top, and then on the bottom we're going to have 32 times 3, which equals 96. And from there, we just are going to need to simplify. So what goes into both numbers? Well, I know 2 does. I wonder if 6 would also. 96 divided by 6. Ooh, I got lucky on that one. So 96 divided by 6 is 16. And 36 divided by 6 is negative 6. Is that fully simplified? Not yet. Let's take them both and divide them in half. So negative 3 and 8. And now that is fully simplified. So our answer is going to be m equals negative 3/8. And at this point, your calculators are fair game. So if you would rather just enter these two fractions into your calculator, multiply them together that way, totally fine also. Let's go on to number 3. Number 3 is a decimal problem, so we're definitely going to want our calculator here. It says 141.86 equals 17.3x. So again, we need to think about what operation is happening here so we can undo it and get that x by itself. Right now it's multiplying, so let's do the opposite, which is dividing. And you're always going to divide by the number that you want to get rid of. In this case, 17.3 is what we want to get rid of. So we're going to divide both sides by 17.3. Over here, they're going to just go to 1, which basically means they're going to go away and we're going to cancel them. So on the right-hand side, it's going to be just equals x. But on the left, let's let our calculator help us. 141.86 divided by 17.3, what is that going to equal? 8.2. So no need to round to the nearest hundredth here because we only have a tenths place. We'll go ahead and include it. 8.2 equals x, and you are done with that one. Now let's look at number 6. Okay, so we have some mixed numbers here, but that's cool. We know how to handle that. Let's go ahead and read our problem. Negative 3 1/3 n plus 2 1/3 equals negative 4/9. Okay, so first of all, think about what you need to get rid of. You want to get this in by itself. So you need to get rid of the negative 3 1/3, and you need to get rid of this 2 1/3. Which one do you get rid of first? You're going to get rid of the one that's not together with the n. In other words, you're going to get rid of the one that's farther away, the one that's separated by a plus sign, and that's the 2 1/3. Because it's adding or subtracting to that variable, we're going to add or subtract to get rid of it. Right now, it's adding, so we're going to do the opposite, which is subtracting. So let's subtract 2 1/3 from both sides. This is going to just go to 0, so it's going to cancel out. And I'll bring this down, -3 1/3 n equals, okay, now we have to do the math on this side. If you want to do it by hand, you could. You're going to do -4/9 minus, and now we need to turn this into a improper fraction. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7, so 7/3. But now we need a common denominator, so let's multiply everything by 3. Let's, because we want it to be over 9, right? So let's see, 3 times 3 equals 9, so 7 times 3 equals 21, and I'm just going to get rid of that. And now we need to combine them. So you have a negative minus a number, so you have same signs we're going to add and keep. 4 plus 21 is 25 over 9, and we have to keep that negative sign. Whew, okay, that was a lot, but we got negative 25 over 9. I'm going to show you real quick on the calculator too. Added benefit, if I made any mistakes, then I get to find that out right now instead of later when I check over this video. So what we were going to do with the calculator is -4 over 9. And then we're going to do minus 2 1/3. And then let's see, does it work? No, I always mess this up. Or how do I do this? I'm just going to convert it to my improper fraction because I'm better at doing it that way. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7, so 7/3, which is what I used to have written right here, right? So minus 7 over 3, now I know that's going to work, and we get -25 over 9. So it looks like we did it right the first time. Just again, you get to choose how you want to do it, on paper or calculator, or with the fraction calculator that I've provided you a link for in the past. Okay, moving on, we still have another step here. So we have -3 1/3 n equals -25 over 9. So we need to get rid of this -3 1/3. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to convert this into an improper fraction, and then I'm going to use my reciprocal trick, okay? So 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So I'm going to rewrite this as 10 over 3, -10 over 3n, still equal to -25 over 9. Now let's use our reciprocal. So -3 over 10 is what we're multiplying by on both sides. -3 over 10. Okay, these cancel. You're left with n equals whatever this is. So -25 times -3 is going to be a positive 75. And then 9 times 10 is 90. Now let's go ahead and simplify. I believe both of these are divisible by 15, but I'm going to use my calculator trick and just put it in here, which is kind of nice sometimes. If I put that in my calculator and just hit enter, it simplifies for me. So 75 divided by 15 equals 5, and 90 divided by 15 equals 6. But maybe you don't know that off the top of your head. You could just divide both of these by 5 first and then go from there. That would definitely work for you too. So your final answer is going to be n equals 5 over 6 here. And again, the problem was given in fractions, so we're putting our final answer in fractions. As far as mixed numbers and improper fractions go, I don't care which way you give the answer. Maybe just do which way is less work for you. Probably that'll be an improper fraction, but sometimes if that's a mixed number, that's fine for me also. We got one problem left on our video today, and that's number 16. So we have a bunch of decimals and a little bit of distributing. Okay, so negative 381.038 equals 6.8 times 6.6x minus 3/4. So the first step when you have a problem like this is you have to get rid of the parentheses. You can't really do anything until those parentheses are gone. And to get rid of them, we're going to distribute. So let me go ahead and bring down this 381.038. And now we're going to multiply 6.8 times 6.6. Here's my calculator. 6.8 times 6.6 equals 44 26.88. And there was an x there too, so I have to remember to write my x. Now let's do this other arrow, which was the 6.8 times the negative 3.4, and don't forget that sign right there. So 6.8 times negative 3.4 equals negative 23.12. So because it's negative, I'm going to write a minus here, and then 23.12. Okay, now we have gotten rid of our parentheses. Excellent. We still have to get the x by itself, which means we have to get rid of this 44.88, and we have to get rid of this negative 23.12. Which one are we going to get rid of first? If you said negative 23.12, you are correct, because that is the one that is not right there together with the x. The one that's together with the x always needs to be the last one to be gotten rid of. So we're going to get rid of this by adding it to both sides. Okay, so that's just going to equal 0, so I'm going to cross it out. On this side, we'll bring down our 44.88x, but on this side, let's go ahead and do the math. We've got a negative 381.038, and then we're going to add to it 23.12. So negative 357.918. Okay, one more step and we'll be done. Now you have to get rid of that 44.88. So what is it doing to the x right now? It's multiplying. What's the opposite of multiplying? Dividing. So we're going to divide by what we want to get rid of, which is the 44.88. Divide by that on both sides. Here, 44.88 divided by 44.88 is just a 1. So we're going to say it cancels out because 1x is the same thing as x. But over here on the left, we'll have a little bit of math to do. I still have that number in my calculator, so I'm just going to hit divide by 44.88. Your calculator might work like that or it might not. I don't know. You can try it. And the answer I'm going to get is negative 7.9. And now I'm going to wait a second. It said to round to the nearest hundredth. So which of these numbers is in the hundredths place? That 7 is, right? So let's look at the next number, which is 5. And as you remember, if that next number is 5 or higher, then you need to bump this up in your rounding. So I'm going to write negative 7.98 here for my rounding. And that's my final answer. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'll see you next time. Bye.